Hello and welcome back to Heretics and Heroes. Today I have for you the follow-up to my color schemes video, and we're going to talk about how you can vary color schemes across different units in your army. For example, in the first video I was painting my old Cadians, but I also have some new Cadians. I have Death Korps of Krieg, and I have Kasrkin. And I don't want to paint them all in exactly the same scheme that I did the old Cadians. I want to give them a little extra character. But I also want to keep the whole visual theme of the army cohesive. So how are we going to do that? I can sum up this video's point in basically one sentence, and that is keep your color palette limited. I'm going to be using maybe 80 to 90% the same colors as I did in the base color scheme. I'm just going to be making a couple key changes so that each of my different unit types looks distinct. And it's all well and good for me to just tell you that, but that might not make a lot of intuitive sense to anyone. So of course, there's going to be examples. I'm going to show you how I painted my different troop types, and hopefully that'll make it make more sense to you, and maybe it'll inspire you to try out a couple different variant schemes within your army as well. So without further ado, let's get to painting. No need to reinvent the wheel. We already have our base color scheme, so let's just build on it. For the new Cadians, my idea is relatively simple. I'm going to copy the color scheme from the old Cadians, but I'm going to give them camo fatigues. It's a very easy visual difference to make, and it tells you that these are going to be my more up-in-your-face, assaulty kind of troops. I mentioned in the first video that I had already decided that I was going to use this scheme on my Kasrkin, and that's what we're going to do. Now this is interesting because it's sort of inverting the color relationships a little bit, and it's shifting the desert camo onto the armored pieces rather than the clothing, just because there's more armor on a Kasrkin than there is visible clothing. And lastly, for the Death Korps of Krieg, we are going to try again with the bane of my existence and try to give them yellow overcoats, inspired by the failed test model that I did from the first video. Now, as you can see from all of these, that we are going to be sticking to that limited color palette rule. And I'm going to go even one step further, and I'm going to keep the decorative shoulder pad consistent through all three of these variant color schemes. Now, the first two color schemes are pretty much cut and dry. I know exactly how I'm going to do them. Of course, the yellow color scheme for the Death Korps of Krieg, we're going to have to do a little bit more experimentation with. I'm not going to bore you with an extended sequence of me trying and failing to come up with a yellow that I love, but I'll put together a little montage so you can see the whole process. And here's what I came up with. I think it looks pretty good, but I'm still not 100% in love with it. So I'm going to change around a couple details and see how that looks. Okay, there we go. You see that I have actually lightened up the yellow a little bit using the Vallejo tan yellow that you saw in the earlier clip. And then I changed the armor pieces to match the armor color of the original color scheme. I think this looks pretty good, but you can let me know down in the comments if you think I made a mistake. Do you like the first attempt better or this one? Well, I think all that's left is to show them off. Let's see how they all look. Well, I am pretty proud of how these all came out. They look great standing next to each other like this. By sticking to my limited color palette rule, they really do look like they all belong on the same battlefield together. I think that keeping the dark green decorative shoulder pad consistent through all of the different variant schemes was actually a really nice touch in helping them all feel cohesive. In conclusion, I think it's plain to see that variant color schemes can really help all of the different units in your army stand out. And once you've already decided on your color scheme, it's really not that hard to do. Just stick to my rule of limited color palette and it should be a breeze. Well, that's it for this video, everyone. Thanks for watching. And if you found any of this entertaining or informative, please like and subscribe so you don't miss a video. And until next time, I'll see you on the table.